like to recognize the gentleman from Georgia, Mr. Ferguson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I'd just like to point out that this is, in fact, our second hearing that we've had, not our first. And I think there were so many members on the other side that did not attend the first hearing that maybe they just slipped their mind. So I'll just point that out. I also want to address the insinuations that we have not, that we are going after the individual citizen here. Listen, this was a huge program. We sent out money. This place, D.C., decided to shut down the country, and we knew we had to do something to help our fellow Americans, and we did. But then we went back to the well again when it was unneeded, and when we had an opportunity to put guardrails on it, we failed to do so. Now, I just think that's where we need to recognize, and we need our colleagues on the other side to get serious about the oversight and quit coming after Republicans when it's not right. So, get that off my chest. Mr. Turner, in this program, I think you said $191 billion in estimated fraud. Is that right?
That's correct.
All right, and you've recovered $105 million of it?
No. I didn't say we had recovered 105. We actually, as far as the labor OIG, we have 905 million that we have not recovered, but monetary results.
105 million? Is that?
No, 905 million monetary results. And what that is there may be court cases or admin or civil resolutions to some of that. And some of it takes time to actually see the funds.
All right.
Yes.
So of those cases, how much do you anticipate recovering? What's a good estimate? Do you have any idea of what that may be?
Let me make sure I understand your question. First of all, let me just clarify. It's 191 billion that we say is improper payment, and there's 76 of that is what is expected to be the fraud rate.
Okay, 76 is fraud. Okay, I just trying to make sure I've got the numbers right, on there. Okay. And you said you have exhausted all of the funds that Congress allocated to you for those efforts. Did I hear you say that correctly?
No, you didn't hear me say that, but we're on the verge of doing that. The $38.5 million that labor OIG was given as for oversight, yes, we are close to exhausting those funds.
Okay. So then there was another $2 billion that went for fraud prevention. Is that, am I right on that number as well? And we.
I think you may be are you talking about the $2 billion?
Let me refer that. $2 billion.
Yeah, there was $2 billion that was given. It could be used for fraud. It could be used for customer service. It could be used for these tiger teams that went in. So it was multiple uses. But there was that amount of money.
All right. It just seems like the amount of money we're spending on that isn't getting a really good return on investment overall. Okay, if you look, the way I look at it. All right, so we got to be more efficient in that. Now, we've talked an awful lot about fraud, okay? And as we've said, all Republicans and Democrats up here, I think everybody in America, except the people committing the fraud, are against fraud. But there's a whole nother part here, which is improper payments, okay? Now, we've been going after fraud, but we haven't really talked about the improper payments. And one of the things I would like to hear very briefly from you today about is the improper payments. How did that happen? Why did it happen? And has anybody been held accountable there? We talk about holding the criminals that committed fraud there, but what about the ineptness of a bureaucracy that is just simply not doing its job in issuing out hundreds of billions of dollars in improper payments? Because again, improper payments, as the chairman said, a dollar that goes to the wrong spot is not a dollar going to the right spot. So in some regard, I don't know that we've got so much a Republican or a Democrat problem. We may have a bureaucrat problem because this has gone on for two administrations. So what's the biggest problem with improper payments? How are you going to fix it? And who's going to be held accountable for that, Mr. Turner?
So again, let me just clear up what improper payment is so everybody be on the same page. Your improper payments is whenever a benefit is paid incorrectly. There could be the amount, It could be overpayment, underpayment, or else it could be going to the wrong person. So that's the improper payment. And fraud is a subset of the improper payment. So I just want to make sure that I clear that up. And as far as what we are doing, we're having our audit work to take a look at that. I mean, we've had 11 audits that we've completed throughout the pandemic. We have another 17 that are ongoing, and we have 3 that are planned work. So we are taking a look at that, and that's how we're holding the department accountable.
Can I?
I'm out of time, but if the chairman will grant Ms. Towerwoods
Can I just briefly on that point, I think one of the things that's important to keep in mind, I know Mr. Dodara speaks about this a lot, we're really talking about 54 programs being managed by 50 states, the District of Columbia, and 3 territories. It's very important to include in this discussion National Association of State Workforce Agencies and state auditors. They're the ones on the front line because states are doing it differently across the country. Some are doing better than others. I think it's very important as we think about this program going forward, how much control should be at the federal level, how much should be decentralized, as it largely is, to the states, and how do we figure out what states are doing better than others, and using that model to increase the compliance rates and reduce improper payments across the country.
Thank you. Yield back, Mr. Chairman.